Hello YouTube, it is Atticus. I am back with you with another Dark Elf game. So this one is against Skaven. So yeah, who doesn't like watching Skaven fight the Dark Elves, especially with their new DLC? So yeah, I tried to bring a unique build, a build that's focused on cav pressure, doing like a Vanguard Assault. So yeah, I'm going to show it to you guys. For my Lord choice, we have one of the best Skaven Lords, or fighting Skaven Lords in my opinion, Crone. Yeah, she's perfectly suited for dealing with Skaven. She has the Fury of Cain, or is it the Gaze of Cain? It's the one that will give Rampage and melee attack and a bunch of buffs to your opponents in like a cloud. It's really powerful. I find that, you know, in Skaven matchups when they're all like grouped together, that the Hellebrone's ability will help you win engagements. And once, you know, how you beat Skaven is once you break their front line and get into their back, I mean, they usually fall. It's like a house of cards. You just got to kick the door in, and everything else will crumble. So, yeah, Crone Hellebrone with her abilities. Let's see if I'll let me click on it. I forgot what it's called. The Gaze of Cain. So, yeah, you guys can see here, leadership, melee attack, and weapon damage. So, pretty powerful. For my front line from Infantry Corps, we have a mixture of a Black Elk Corsair, 2 spears to deal with altars and rat ogres, and of course, Sisters of Slaughter. Sisters of Slaughter excel in this matchup. They're one of the most powerful units that you could bring against them. Just because there's not a single unit that they can't kill on the Skaven matchup. Even rat ogres will lose to Sisters of Slaughter. Just because they're so powerful and they poison and things like that. Oops, going to slow it down. We're going to miss my my ambush here. Also, guys, you always want to bring terror. So, of course, we have a Death Hag up on our altar. That's going to allow me to have the Chill Blade, which will give that -6 melee attack debuff. It'll cause terror, and it'll just pretty much just rampage through the line. And, you know, she also has her ability to buff. But the real surprise, the real meat of my army is going to be this huge Vanguarded ambush in the back. So we have a total of 5 Dark Riders, just normal Dark Riders with shields, and 1 Doomfire Warlock. So yeah, usually on this map, your opponent is going to take the high ground, so I like to put the majority of my units on this side right here, and yeah, you can see it's going to pay off. So yeah, that's my my plan. Hit him in the back line of all this cav, use the Gaze of Cain, or the, yeah, is that what it's called? The Gaze of Cain, to break his front line, and then just, you know, stampede and crash his house and kill the rest of his units. So for my opponent, his Lord, we have Trench Creventrail, so you don't really see him a lot. Really good anti-large rat, I guess, for lack of words. He's going to be really powerful. The best thing to do with him, like if any anti-large lord, is just ignore him. Yeah, don't try to snipe him. Just deal with the rest of his army, because he is going to be hitting pretty hard. You can see his melee attack is 400, armor piercing, and yeah, armor anti-large. So, so he does have Trench. He also has a Plague Priest right here on an altar. We have a Doom Wheel. We have the Warplock Giselles, the Natty Boo Ball Sharpshooters. So yeah, we're going to really want to shut those guys down as quickly as possible. Luckily, my Lord is really small, has a small hitbox, so she's not going to be taking a lot of damage. We have a Warp Lightning. We have a couple Skaven Slaves right here. Secondary line of Clan Rats with shields. A Storm Vermin. Then we have some Death Glow Bombardiers. We have some Poison Wing Globadiers who got a price reduction, I do believe. Rat Ogres in the back. Skaven Slaves, and yeah, I think that's about everything for my opponent. So let's go ahead and start the match, guys, and see how it goes. So right off the bat, as Bill the Butcher said to New York, yeah, we're going to start taking some artillery and some natty boo balls. You can see that I had some Dark Riders in the front, and the only reason I put these guys was to take the artillery barrage. I figured, all right, have my opponent hit those, and then it won't be hitting my army. You can see that we're just going to collapse onto all his range units. We're going to get onto the Warp Lightning. We're going to get into his Poison Wind Globadiers and Bombardiers. And yeah, we're going to just be shutting that down. We're disrupting his formation. This is like textbook how you deal with the Skaven. You can see that everything is like in chaos. You know, he's trying to deal with these units, he's trying to deal with these units, and yeah, all meanwhile, my main army is going to be moving up. You can see I'm going to get a Doom Bolt on these Poison Wind Bombardiers, just to try to, Globadiers, excuse me, try to get a little bit of damage, and yeah, it does pretty good. You can see we get a Soul Blight as well. We have shut down his cannon, we've disrupted his formation, and yes, now the whole army comes in for the final blow. You can see that these Skaven Slaves are actually going to just get crushed through all my units. I forgot to mention I do have a Bolt Thrower, and it's focusing on this Doom Wheel, which my opponent's kind of forgotten about. So yeah, we're getting some pretty good early damage. You can see that we're in the back line right here. We're dealing with all his Skaven Slaves, and yeah, it's just looking good for us, guys. We've totally just disrupted his army. You can see that the Doom Wheel is moving, but yeah, at this point, you know, he's going to get a charge in, but we've already just collapsed his line. You can see I'm going to have the Gaze of Cain start. It's going to just crush his Clan Rats right here and just allow us to get into the back. Now, he does have some Storm Vermin and things like that, and you can see we're just doing everything in our power to shut down his Natty Boo Balls. We're keeping these guys busy, occupied, side so they can't hit us. We're harassing his back line. We're escorting things off the map. I'm trying to prioritize his missile units, which will allow me to, just kind of systematically take them out. And you can see we're doing pretty good, guys. We don't really have a threat to us right now because we're shutting down all his range units. You can see the Doomfire Warlocks have really paid for themselves this game. Their mobility, their high physical resistance, and yeah, we just pretty much have total map control right now. You can see we do have some Sisters of Slaughter fighting in this little pocket right here, and yeah, all these units are real low tier shaft units, so I'm going to be able to beat them pretty effectively. Here in the back, we're making sure his warp lightning cannon doesn't come back, and yeah, I mean, at this point, guys, what can he do? We've disrupted his formation. You can see the Sisters of Slaughter are keeping these Death Globes from coming back. The Spear units are going to come singling out the Rat Ogres, keeping these guys from trying to hit my Black Orc Corsairs. You can see that the Death Hag with her Terror is helping in this little pocket right here. Same with the Crone. My opponent did get one of his bombardment spells off, but yeah, you can see it's just the Terror. It's just really hurting against Skaven, and that's kind of how you beat them, guys. I mean, they really need to get their range damage to be effective, and you can see everything we're doing is just shutting him down. We're prioritizing his range units, and you can see the Bolt Thrower is going to focusing on the Plague Priest now. So now we're having a mass rout from all his units. You can see I do get off another Soul Blight, which is just lowering the armor of these guys, and we're going to start just escorting things off the map. Same with over here. You can see Crone Hellebrone is fighting Trich Creventrail, and even though he's anti-large, Crone has really good armor piercing, so he's going to be hitting pretty strongly as well. You can see that the Death Hag and the Sisters of Slaughter are going to be fighting the Plague Priest, who is going to get a Scorch off. It's going to do pretty good damage to these Dread Spears, so yeah, I'll give him that. But you can see we're just trying to escort all these little units off the map, because that's what Skaven do. They run off, they regroup, so if we can use our forces and kind of keep him busy, you can see we're going to get another Gaze of Cain, and it's going to be terror losses and army losses for my opponent and a win for the Druchii. So let's go ahead and look at the in-screen breakdown. We'll talk about some of the keys for my success in this game. And this one was all about that backline harass, guys. I mean, it worked really good. You saw it. It just scattered his forces. He was fighting battles on different fronts. We were hitting him in the back right. We were hitting him in the back left. And he just lost his formation. You build with a plan. You know, his plan was to kind of be defensive, use his artillery advantage, use his range advantage, maybe kind of keep me in place. But, you know, when you hit him from every angle, Skaven just fall apart. That is textbook how you deal with Skaven, guys. So another key for success, obviously, was the Sisters of Slaughter. Really, if you're a Skaven player, you have to really plan for these ladies, and the way you do it is Rat Ogres supported by some shaft units. You know what I mean? Like, the Rat Ogres will do the damage to them. Also, Doom Flayers do really good against them. Doom Wheels do really good against them. Or you need to focus them with your range units. But yeah, he wasn't able to do that since I was all in his back line of my horses and things like that. So, as for Conan Ashcon, good build. He even said, like, wow, I didn't expect all those horses. So I kind of caught him by surprise, but that is the name of the game, guys. When you fight Skaven, you got to be pretty aggressive. You can't turtle. You got to be up in his face, and you got to have a lot of backline harass. So, all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that one. It's Atticus, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.